Row 18, plot 20.
Hey everybody, welcome to Now It's Dark. I'm Jim. Today I'm doing a movie review on a 2022 film titled Where the Scary Things Are. And this movie came out this year, August, I believe. And it has an interesting premise. It's 1 hour and 33 minutes. It's made by Lionsgate. It has a $3 million budget. Woo! Let me give you the storyline and then I'll go over who the writer and all that kind of crap is. Let's see. The storyline. A dark take on 80s kids in weird circumstances, like Stand By Me and The Goonies and Stephen King's It. And even modern homages as Super 8 and Stranger Things. That examines the dark nature of post-Columbine kids and their growing lack of empathy in the internet age. And that storyline was written by B. Harrison Smith, who happens to be the writer and director. And very apparently a fan of all those movies that he just mentioned, particularly Goonies. The stars of this movie are, in no particular order, Peter Cote, Molly Dennis, Paul Cotman, Michael Cervantes, Quinn Andrew Flex, and then who I might consider the lead of the group of kids, and that is Selena Flanschka, and she plays Isla. So this movie takes place, I don't know if it takes place, but it's filmed in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, at an actual theme park called Field of Screams. So I imagine it's probably one of those seasonal Halloween type parks. So it's a group of kids of various ages that are, the neighborhood kids. So the ages, they're very close together, but there's a few that are a little younger. They're very caught up in social media. They don't really specify if it's like YouTube or TikTok or whatever. But the youngest is kind of the cameraman and a little bit of the lead. He's kind of a dick. He's a little bit of a bully. But he's so obsessed with monetizing his channel. And so I really kind of relate, except for the young kid group part. But so the theme is that they're trying to do shocking videos and prank videos to monetize their channel and get as many views as possible. And they do pranks on like some of the homeless people and the bums. They kind of congregate in this theme park, this local park called the Toxic Waste Dump, which is the Field of Screams in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So if you live near there, you can go check it out. So the Toxic Waste Dump, it's off season, so they just break in and they kind of just hang out there. And they're, like I said, they're just filming things, pranks, and trying to get, those views. In school, we get a scene of the teacher in one of the classes is talking about urban legends and how quickly false stories can grow to the point to where they are real. And there could be no truth to them at all. And the town that they live in or whatever does have their own urban legend, the legend of Lockjaw. And the teacher challenges them to group up and create their own urban legends and then, see what kind of traction they all get, and they would be graded on their creativity and all that stuff. So these kids have this great established outlet already with their social media platform. So they're just trying to come up with things. And in the meantime, we get some weird like, I almost want to say unnecessary, like glimpses at some of the parents of some of the kids. Um, the one kid's father is a dick prosecutor. The one bully kid that does all the camera work, his mother really looked like she was zoned out to where she was still having like postpartum, and he's, almost a teen, or he is a teen at this point. She was very sad looking. She was actually the standout of the parents as far as like empathy from me went. I was kind of troubled by her a little bit. And then we have Isla, who has a very unattentive mother, no father, and the mother seems like she's a little promiscuous, and she does have a current boyfriend who makes inappropriate suggestions to Isla about things that they could be doing when mom is not home. And they kind of build on that. So when the urban legend challenge from the teacher comes, the story kind of branches off a little bit into Isla, and then also into the group trying to create their urban legend. Well, it just so happens that Lockjaw is not an urban legend, but is real. And they stumble upon this, and they start doing their own things with Lockjaw. They are filming Lockjaw, and they are calling him Crockamole. I love it, and it's so funny. Crockamole. So they renamed Lockjaw Crockamole to give themselves anonymity, and they keep themselves out of it, out of the camera and everything. They find out that Lockjaw slash Crockamole only attacks things that he can smell their fear. And these kids are dicks. Like, this group of kids, they don't have fear. So they never got attacked. And so they just kind of use that to their advantage. So the girl, Isla, seems to be having like this descent. She's getting psychologically worse and worse outside of the Lockjaw stuff. She does start to get an attractive. She becomes attracted to one of the other boys in the group. They start to form a little bond because of her trouble. They do a very promiscuous scene with her and all of the boys. That was pretty uncomfortable, and even some of the actors, their characters were supposed to be portraying that they were uncomfortable with the way she was acting at that moment, and they really did a good job with that. There's some music montage, which is kind of, classic of this type of stuff, but it's to kind of do that quick show of how her head is like she's going off the rails, and how the group is, because of their views, they're each time they film Lockjaw Crockamole, things amp up a little bit and amp up a little bit to the point where the teacher has to call them in and say, look, whatever you guys are doing, it's fantastic makeup, it's definitely good quality acting, but you got to take it down. We're getting a lot of complaints. And the kids are like, fuck that. This is ours. Nobody knows it's coming from here. Nobody knows, this is going from us. We've pinged our location up of South Africa or whatever they say, so that nobody can track us. And so they say, no, we're not taking it down. So they don't. So without going too much more into like the spoilery stuff, things really amp up and they get out of control. And we definitely find out that the monster is not necessarily Lockjaw, but it is these kids. And you know what? The ending was really good. They get what they deserve. Everyone gets what they deserve. Everyone either survives or gets killed or takes matters into their own hands in a very good way. So at the beginning of the movie, at the beginning of this review, I mentioned, this director writer's obvious love for Goonies, and at first it really is so obvious that it became annoying very quickly, and I was worried about that because it was so obvious. But then that kind of goes away. It kind of levels out a little bit, or either I got used to it or whatever. It definitely doesn't spoil the ending. The ending is also where we find out the title, where the title comes from, where the scary things are. So stick around right to the very end, and that is explained, where the scary things are. So 3.1, I think it's a little low. I think this is probably going to go up as time goes on. Like I said, this has only been out since August of 2022. But I liked it. If you like any of those kind of teenage kid group, Goonies, It, those types of movies, you'll like this. And the kids are not the traditional kids. Like all those other groups of kids are all like sweet little innocent. They want to do good. This group of kids are kind of like dickish. So it's fun to see that different angle on the kid movie thing. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments if you've seen this or what your thoughts are. And let's go crock-a-moley.
So have your dream. Go on and sing your song. There's nothing wrong with singing out of tune. If people laugh and say your dream can never be, just think of me.